The morning after. It feels good. Yesterday, guys, if you don't know, I did a man versus movie of the entire Mission Impossible series. I watched every single movie, 12 hours just about worth of Mission Impossible that ended in the theater with Rogue Nation. And my brain is a little bit fried. I feel like here in a few weeks, maybe 6 or 7, I'll look back on this with fond memories. But yeah, it does something when you see that much of one thing for 12 hours. It gets inside of your soul a little bit and grabs a hold of a dark, dark part of you and tugs at it. Yeah, I dreamed a Mission Impossible song all night last night in my sleep. But today's a new day. So if you want to watch that man vs. movie, it'll be on the channel. This is the spoiler review for Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which not getting real deep in anything, but let's just talk about the movie for those who have seen it without worrying about giving anything away. So when this one starts, we leave off from Ghost Protocol with a typical thing from the entire series. Someone's gone with no explanation. The girl who had this way too big of a plot point from Ghost Protocol is completely gone in this movie with no explanation. We start this movie and Jeremy Renner has gone back to more of his analyst type role, and he's working, looks like, with Alec Baldwin, who's the new boss type character for Ethan Hunt and the team. The new asshole they got to deal with at corporate. Every single movie has another one of those. This time it's Alec Baldwin, and it's a perfect ass role for him. But they're in a courtroom, and once again, the IMF is being disavowed, broken up, labeled terrorists, whatever you want to call it. Once again, which you gotta love it because it's almost comical at this point. I mean, there's been one movie where that hasn't happened, and that was Mission Impossible 2. Granted, I know how that turned out, but still, it always happens, one way or another, and it's kind of stupid to me. What I don't like is at this point, even the court people who, I know it's all classified and they're not allowed to know exactly what happened, but they seem to know enough to where if they had any brain in their head, they'd be like, okay, this guy's a hero. He saved the world like 10 freaking times. Once again, they're too stupid. They're like, no, he's got to go. He's got to go. I don't believe in it. And Alec Baldwin character's even stupider. He's like, I actually think that he's the one causing it. Like the equivalent of he's lighting the houses on fire so he can be the hero putting them out. And it's like, dude, you gotta be smarter than that, right? I mean, that's kind of unbelievable that you'd be that dumb. So they've all been disavowed again. The Mission Impossible series is like Oprah. Only instead of cars, she's giving out disavowments. It's like, you're disavowed, you're disavowed, you're disavowed. Every fucking movie, that word is in there somewhere. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise is behind her jumping up and down on the couch. He goes to a record store and this hot chick flirts with him for a second, so you know he's endeared to her for life, because that's just how Ethan Hunt works. And he goes in to get his mission to put on this record player, and instead the syndicate have hijacked it. They know exactly how the IMF works, and they say, hey, guess what, we're gonna fucking kill you. Ha! Ethan Hunt gets engulfed in some gas. He looks out the window and the guy from the syndicate shows up, the bad guy, and kills the girl, meaning and knowing that Tom Cruise is going to go be like, that was the love of my life, even though I knew it for 15 seconds, and I'll chase you to the ends of the earth. Because that's just how Ethan Hunt works. One of the many comparisons him and Bond have. Only Bond can sometimes be like, I don't give a shit about that bitch. So Hunt gets captured, and they bring this guy named Victor, who's like the Bone Crusher or something like that. And this really cool, reminded me of the Lethal Weapon scene in the original Lethal Weapon. He's about to get tortured, and Vanessa Hudgens' character, I think that's how you say her name, shows up, and she all of a sudden is just like on his side. They escape in this badass arrow type fighting sequence when Tom Cruise fucking puts his feet on this pole and lifts his body weight with his hands and his feet and climbs off the pole. It was supremely badass. When he kicks the guy in the chest and hits him so hard that his head hits the pipe and knocks him out. I fucking love that scene. That was a really cool badass hand-to-hand fighting scene. But she lets him go and she says, you know, whatever, I have to stay. And now we have this, one of the things I don't like about the movie. I love her character. She's a badass. It always has to be this back and forth. Is she loyal? Is she not? It goes back to what they did in Mission Impossible 2 that I hated so much. We spent the whole movie talking about, I don't know if she on your side or is she on our side. Is she on your side or our side? And it's like the old spy thing, like nobody knows. And I don't like that. I'm just like, can we just get on with the characters, you know, stories or whatever? Can she just be on someone's team and let's fight now? Let's play bad guy, good guy? Like, I'm tired of the in-between. And I know it's a spy movie, but there's a million different ways to do that. And I feel like that's been done 100 times before. So I'm over that. And I'm also over the whole, like, we love each other, but we can't be together. It's like, dude, in the last movie, you were chasing your wife around everywhere, making sure she was safe. And now you're talking about running away with this chick. And I know he didn't do it, and it ended up he couldn't be with her. But I just don't see the need for that storyline in there. I thought it wasted a lot of screen time for a movie that was a little too long. And I did like this movie a lot, guys. It's a really just clean, good-looking action movie. that has amazing stunts in it. Christopher McQuarrie is the director of this, who directed Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise. And, you know, Tom Cruise said he wants him to direct this movie, and, you know, baby wants 12 lemons, baby gets 12 lemons. So we got him to direct this movie, and I just felt like this movie was way too much like Rogue Nation for me. And Rogue Nation was a good movie, but what I love about the Mission Impossible series is that they go, every single one has a different director, and every single one is a completely different movie. They all feel so different. It went from the first one being Brian De Palma, to the second one being John Woo, to J.J. Abrams' first movie, to Brad Bird, to now Brad Bird. I mean, I know it's Christopher McQuarrie, but he directed it just like the movie before it. It looked like it, it felt like Ghost Protocol to me. And I just wanted it to have its own style, like the other movies, and I was a little bit let down by that. The stunts, I mean, Tom Cruise hangs off the side of an airplane in real life. That guy is he's a hero. I mean, minus the Scientology and the psycho shit, that dude is ballsy as hell. Like, he doesn't have to do that shit. He's a millionaire. He's not getting anything special for that. He's just showing us how big his balls are, and we appreciate the size of your balls, Tom Cruise. Like, I cannot believe he does this shit. He's the real action hero, and it's amazing. You gotta give him credit for that. You really do. No matter how you feel about him, that guy puts his neck out there, and he doesn't have to, and that's really cool. The water stunt, though. Now, I wasn't crazy about the water stunt. I mean, the jumping into the thing was cool, but then it got way too CGI'd, and it was just whatever. There's a lot of car chase type scenes in this, rather than like huge stunts. And, you know, it's a Mission Impossible movie, so maybe you want a little bit more than a car chase scene, but they did a good job making them happen. The motorcycle stunts and stuff like that, the first person direction that he does, he had some shots in there that I've never seen before during those action sequences, and they were really, really, really well done. And the bad guy, just kind of a generic Bond villain to me. He was good. He was better than the bad guy in Ghost Protocol, but still just a regular, I am a bad guy and I'm scary talking. You know, I didn't get that crazy into it. And I think what this movie was really missing for me, even though as good as it was, like I said, this movie was shot clean, it looked good, it was a fun time, it was a great action summer blockbuster, but as a fan of the Mission Impossible series, as good as it was, I did want more. And the reason I wanted more is because I need Tom Cruise to have some sort of like emotional anchor. And they touched on that a little bit. They tried to play this movie as like Tom Cruise, Ethan Hunt's just gotten lucky before. He's just gotten lucky, and one of these days his ego of going after the bad guy is going to cause thousands of people to die because he's going to take on a mission that he actually, you know, that actually is impossible, and he's going to fail because of his ego. And I thought they just barely just brushed over it. And I need like some internal struggle going on there, and there wasn't that in this movie, or really Ghost Protocol, to be honest with you. And I know there's stuff at stake. The world's always at stake in these movies, so you need your main character to have that internal struggle, and I just didn't feel it there. They just barely touched on it, and they were too busy having him flirt with this other agent girl. I wanted something deeper, darker there, a little bit grittier. I wanted this movie to have its own feel and not be so Ghost Protocol. That being said, still a really good movie. I didn't like the bad guy's intentions. I felt like it's a bad guy who needed money to do more bad shit. It's like the League of Shadows that he's created, right? With all these disavowed agents. Really cool idea, and when they worked that, it was cool. The fight scene at the opera where there's bad guys and everything, that was supremely badass. And all these agents that are supposed to be dead from different countries working together, that was really, really cool. But the overall thing was, he was a bad guy who needed money to do more bad shit. And that led him all the way to the Prime Minister to get money. Like, it seemed a little bit overreaching, a little bit too many layers, maybe one or two too many layers. I liked what they did with the mask scene. I did see it coming though. Right as Alec Baldwin was like, "You've pissed off Ethan Hunt, and now you're in trouble." I was like, he's talking to him right now. And sure enough, right there he pulls off the mask. But that was pretty cool. It's a good Mission Impossible movie. I give it a strong 7.5. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's like the movie of the year like some people are saying, but I think it was a damn good movie, and I think it's awesome that they're already talking about doing a sixth one. I just hope they get a new director and it's a different feel. I want it to be just as good, just in a different way. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Am I way the fuck off on this? And let me ask you this. What's your favorite Mission Impossible stunt of all time? I mean, the plane stunt is insane, just that he did that. But I've still got to go with just a personal favorite, even though it's nothing crazy. I love the gum scene in the original one where he throws the gum on the wall. And then the fish tank explodes or whatever and he runs away. That's Mission Impossible to me. I don't know. Comment below. Let me know, guys. Click that subscribe button. Get some wham up in you.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.